Here we go, guys. Another exception to Mendel's rules. So Mendel actually studied genes that were on autosomes, which is your body chromosomes, and he didn't study anything that was on chromosomes that also determined sex. So this is a picture of a karyotype. Should look familiar. In this karyotype, the first 22 chromosomes are called autosomal chromosomes. So a lot of our genes, because there's 22 of them, a lot of our genes are on these chromosomes, and we have 2 copies of all of those genes. But this last pair is unique because in males, which is right here, they have 1 X chromosome and 1 Y chromosome. But in females, they have 2 X chromosomes and no Y chromosomes. So in humans, there's these 2 very distinct differences in the chromosomes. So what happens is that the mother is always passing on an X chromosome to the offspring. So you can see that with this graphic here, passing on an X offspring to the child. The father, the sperm, is either going to carry an X or the sperm is going to carry a Y. So the father actually determines the sex of the individual child, and in this case, if it has 2 X's, it's a female. If it has an X and a Y, it's a male. So in conclusion, what you're going to find out is that the mother really passes on an X chromosome, the father passes on an X or a Y chromosome, and ultimately then that will result in an offspring either being female or male. Now, if there's a gene on these chromosomes, which is what we're going to find out, that a female is going to have 2 copies of a gene because she has 2 X's, but if a male has if there's a chromosome or a gene on the X, a male only has 1 copy of that gene. So just some information about the chromosomes is that it's discovered what kind of genes are on the X chromosome. There's one that causes muscular dystrophy. So it's a gene that actually is muscle repairs itself. Melanoma. There's something called the X inactivation center, immunodeficiency, color blindness, hemophilia, baldness. Some of those are on the X chromosomes. Because they're on the X chromosomes, they're associated with being a sex-linked disorder. It's linked to the sex of the individual. The Y chromosome, which females don't have, the Y chromosome has an important gene that actually is what starts with the formation of testes. So the testes determining factor. So this plays out a little bit differently with how you do a Punnett square. And I have a sample problem here for you and a few that you can work through. You can try some different combinations, but this is an example of a parent who is a female parent who's going to be known as a carrier for color blindness, and a male parent who is not colorblind. And we're trying to figure out, is there an opportunity that they may have a child who's colorblind? And color blindness is when you can't tell the difference between red and green. So not life-threatening, but some of these other disorders like hemophilia and muscular dystrophy are, and they're going to alter the quality of life of an individual. So in this case, the mother is actually passing on this recessive allele to her son, but her female children are not going to be affected. So we'd say there's a 25% chance of having a child who is going to have color blindness. So females have the ability here, you can see normal, they could be carriers, or females could be colorblind. Very rare because they have to inherit both recessive alleles, whereas males only have to inherit 1 copy of the recessive alleles. So males are much more likely to have sex-linked disorders than females because they only need to inherit 1 copy. So I hope that information is helpful. If you're curious, there are some more practice problems.